Hello, welcome to part 1 of Coding for Kids in Scratch. Today we'll be going over chapter 2, which is all about making our first program. So let's get started. Now that you understand a little bit more about how Scratch works, it's time to start learning to code. To get you used to coding, we're going to start off with a few simple programs. So to get started, open up the untitled project you made in chapter 1 if you didn't keep it open from last time. To open it up, click the file icon in the top right to go to My Stuff. Then in My Stuff, find the project Untitled and click where it says See Inside under Untitled. This should bring you to the editor, and now we're ready to get started. So the first program we're going to make is to move the sprite, which is this cat, across the stage. The first step is to go to the Events category by clicking where it says Events in this leftmost column. We didn't go over this category because we're only going to be using one block for the rest of this book. If you want to learn about the other blocks, you should only do so after finishing most of the lessons in this book, because they can get pretty complicated. For now, click and drag the block when green flag clicked to the code area. This block will make it so that any code that is attached to it will run once the green flag is clicked. Next, go to the motion section. We're going to cover most of the blocks in this category within this first program so that you can understand what each of them do. For now, click and drag the first block, move 10 steps, underneath the when green flag clicked block, aligning the notches so that they click together. You'll know that the two blocks will click together when you see this little light gray shadow appear behind one of them. Once you see it, you can let go and the two blocks will click together. Your code should now look something like this, pretty simple. Now, just click the green flag above the stage to run the program. You'll see that the cat should move to the right. To increase or decrease the amount the cat moves, change the number in the block. By clicking on the number where it says 10, you can type in a new number and the cat will move a different distance. See, when I typed in 100, the cat moved more. If I were to type in 5, the cat will move a lot less. So a larger value will make the cat move more. A smaller value will make the cat move less. However, you might notice that if you input a number too large, like 100, and keep running the program, the cat will disappear off the screen. And we don't really want that, now do we? We want to be able to see the cat whenever we have code that applies to the cat. So we can fix this problem. First, let's get the cat back to its original position. Underneath the stage, you'll see some more information about the sprite. There, it tells you the position of the cat, but in X and Y. The X is where the cat is left and right, and the Y is where it is up and down. The starting position of the cat is when X is 0 and Y is 0. So there's two ways to move the cat back using programming. You can move the cat left over and over and over again until it's back at 0 in the X direction. However, the better way to go about it would be to use one block that tells the cat exactly where to go in the stage. So for now, remove the move 10 blocks block by clicking and dragging it back to the code storage on the left. It should disappear once you let go. Then find the block that says go to X some number Y0. It should look something like this, but your numbers may be a little different. Then click and drag that underneath the when green flag clicked block. So now you're going to click the number that is next to X and make it 0. And if for some reason your number next to Y isn't 0, make sure to click there and do the same thing, type in 0. So now your code should look like something like this. Just have the when green flag click block, then underneath that the go to X0, Y0 block. Now click the green flag to run the program. The cat should move back to the center of the stage. The same thing can be done using two different blocks, which are the set X to 0 and set Y to 0 blocks. So just to show you, you don't have to do this on your own, but just to show you, set X to 0 and set Y to 0. If I were to move the cat anywhere else on the stage, when I click that, it moves back to the same position. So for now, we'll get rid of those. And we're going to save this go to X0, Y0 block because we just saw that it can be used to reset the cat. Now, let's fix the problem from earlier before we make the cat move again. So let's look back to the motion section in the code storage to find the if on edge bounce block. It's near the bottom, so you may have to scroll to find it, but you're going to look for a block that says if on edge bounce. Then, once you find that, click and drag it underneath the when green flag click block. Now go back to the top and drag a move 10 steps block underneath that one. Change that number to anything you want as long as it's under 250. So I'm going to just set it to 100. And now your code should look something like this, with the if on edge bounce block underneath the when green flag clicked, and then the move 100 steps block underneath the if on edge bounce. Now run the program a few times until the cat hits the wall. So you'll see that it's going to bounce off, but now we have another problem. The cat is upside down. Thankfully, Scratch has a method to fix this. For now, drag these two blocks, the if on edge bounce and move 100 steps block, to the side in the code area by clicking and dragging the top block, which is the if on edge bounce block. This allows you to move multiple blocks at once by clicking and dragging the top block. So we're going to use these blocks later, so we'll just save them for now. Now grab the go to x0 y0 block from before and drag it underneath the when green flag clicked block. However, this is no longer enough to reset the cat. You'll see that even if we run the program, it goes to its original position, but it's still upside down. So we're going to add one more block to fix this. So go back to the motion category and find the block that says point in direction 90 and drag that underneath the go to x0 y0 block. This block will let you set the direction the cat is facing. A direction of 90 means that the cat is facing to the right, while a direction of negative 90, which is minus 90, indicates the cat is facing to the left and it's probably upside down. So now press the green flag to run the program. Now the cat should be reset to its original position and it should be right side up now. Now drag those two blocks to the side of the code area because we're going to save them, and these are going to be the blocks we use to reset the cat if we need to. Now look at the motion category and find another block, set rotation style left right. This is at the very bottom of the square block looking block, so it's going to be at the bottom. You might have to scroll to get to it, but once you find it, click it and drag it underneath the when green flag click block. This block makes it so that the cat simply faces the other side when its position is reversed. So it'll face right at 90 and it'll face left at negative 90, all while being the right side up. If we didn't have this block, the cat would be able to spin fully in a circle. And while that's cool, it doesn't necessarily work for this program. So now drag the code we saved before, which is the if on edge bounce and the move 100 steps block, and drag it under the set rotation style left right block. Your code should look something like this, with the when green flag clicked, then the set rotation style, then the if on edge bounce, then the move 100 steps block. Now run the program a few times until the cat hits the wall. It should bounce back, but it's facing the other direction and it's still right side up. Now no matter how many times you run the program, the cat should just smoothly go across the screen, bouncing back and forth, all while being the right side up. So since that's now working, let's explore some more blocks in this category. I would recommend that you try these out on your own, but we're going to go over them quickly so that you can just see how they work. So to keep it simple, I'm just going to go over the blocks in the order that they appear in the category. So the first blocks, the turn 15 degrees blocks, will just change the direction the cat is facing. They can make the cat spin and face a different direction. If we try just putting it underneath the set rotation block, you'll notice that nothing's really happening when we press the flag. And that's because we have it to set to left-right, the set rotation style. And if we want the cat to spin again, we're going to have to set it back to all around. So we'll click where it says left-right to bring up a drop-down menu of 3 options. You can have left-right, don't rotate, and all around. We're going to choose all around so that way the cat can spin like we want it to. Now when we run the program, we'll see that the cat starts to spin. Now the other version of the block just makes the cat spin in the other direction. But for now, we're just going to delete the block by dragging it back to the code area. And let's just quickly reset the block by using the code we saved from before, the go to x0, y0, and the point in direction 90 block. We're going to just run the program, and the cat is reset. Now we'll just save these blocks, the go to x0, y0, and point in direction 90 blocks. We're going to keep them off to the side. We always keep this set rotation style block so that we know how the cat will move depending on the code we put underneath of it. It's not necessary, but it's good to have so you can always remember how the cat will move. Now the next block is the go to random position block, and that does exactly what it sounds like. It will make the cat go to a random position in the stage. So if we just drag it under the set rotation style block, you'll see that it does exactly that. Then the block right underneath it is one we've already gone over, which is the go to x some number, y some number, and it's the block we use to set it to the same position every single time. So let's just reset the cat, And now, the next set of blocks are the glide blocks. The glide blocks are very similar to the go-to blocks, but instead of moving the cat instantly, they're going to gradually move the cat over some time, and you can adjust the time so that it will move slower or faster. So for example, the glide 1 second to random position block will make the cat glide to some random position on the screen. And similarly, this other block, glide 1 second to x some number, y some number, will make the cat move exactly to the same position. So if we set that to x0 and y0, you'll see that instead of instantly moving, the cat will slowly move back to its starting position. And by changing this time here to say like 0.5, and if we move the cat back, you'll see that it moves faster. Now, the other option in both the go to random position block and the glide to random position block is you can have it say go to mouse pointer by clicking on where it says random position and bringing up the drop down menu and choosing mouse pointer. Now, when we run the program, you'll see that the cat ends up in pretty much the same location when we run it, and that's just because every time we click the green flag, the mouse pointer is always in the same location. That's a problem we'll fix eventually, but for now, we're just going to drag this off to the side, reset the cat, and move on. The next set of blocks is the point blocks, and they're going to change the direction that the cat is facing, just like the turn blocks from before, but it'll be more like the go-to blocks in that they'll instantly change the direction that the cat is facing. For example, the point in direction 90 block, which is the block we use to reset the cat every time, if you change the value in that block to say -45, you'll see that the cat instantly moves to that position instead of you having to run the program multiple times to get it to move to that angle. Now, the other block, the point towards mouse pointer block, will, as you might guess, point the cat towards the mouse pointer. And you'll see that it has the same problem as the go-to mouse pointer block, meaning that since the mouse pointer is in the same place when we click the green flag, the cat points towards the same direction every time that we click the green flag. And this is a problem that we'll fix in a later chapter, so for now, just take this block and drag it to the code area, reset the cat, and let's move on to the next section. The next two blocks are the change x by 10 block and the change y by 10 block. These blocks are very similar to the move 10 steps block. The change x by 10 actually does the exact same thing. It moves the cat 10 to the right. But if you use a negative number, it will move the cat to the left. Then the change y by 10 block does the same thing, but it can move the cat up and down. So a positive 10 will move the cat up, and change y by -10 will move the cat back down. So let's reset the block. Then we'll go to the last two blocks, which are the set x to 0 and the set y to 0. The set x to 0 block will let you change the x by any number you want, and unlike the move block, it just sets the number to some set value. So if you say set x to 50, it'll be 50, and no matter how many times you run it, it's not going to move again. And then the set y to block is the exact same thing, but for y. And the good thing about using these blocks separately is that the set y to 75 block can make the cat move to 75 in the y, but it doesn't affect its x in any way. And that's why it can sometimes be more useful than the go-to x0, y0 block. But that's all of the blocks in the motion section. These little round blocks at the bottom will be covered in a later chapter, so don't worry about them for now. And you should have a good understanding of how these blocks work, and maybe you're already thinking about how to use them in a project of your own. But for now, before we finish with this chapter, there's one more skill that you should know before you start working with motion blocks. And you'll remember that underneath the stage, it tells you the position of the cat. So sometimes you might want to find the position of, like, say where your mouse pointer is in the block. So at this point, you can just take the cat, click on it, and drag it to wherever you want it to be. And then when you let go, the position underneath is going to be updated, so that way you can find what the x value is and the y value is at that point. By doing this can come in handy for a lot of programs, especially if you want to set a certain starting location or ending location for a character in a game instead of using the 0, as your starting position. And now we've gone over everything that you're probably going to need to make motion in your Scratch projects, so that you can always remember what this project is about and everything that we learned, rename this project to How to Move by clicking on where it says Untitled and just typing in that How to Move as there. That way you can always come back and look at what we've done here as inspiration or to remember what we've learned into review. And so now I encourage you to try using the blocks that we just went over in a program of your very own. Try to make a program that will reset the cat's position to the start and then have it move and then glide to some random position on the stage. And I just want you to experiment, try something new. Even if something goes wrong, just keep trying new methods of codes and different blocks and different combinations of blocks until it all works. By trying to make what you want work, you're going to understand the different blocks and what you can do with every one of them so much more. But now it's time to move on to the next chapter where we'll be making another program together.